Greetings, I'm Barrent, and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. Today we're continuing our playthrough of Kingdom Death Monster. We just got back from taking down a level 1 Phoenix. It was a fun fight. Now there's a couple things I need to talk about before we actually start our settlement phase. The first thing has to do with a couple of our characters. Palin, this poor person has destroyed genitals. I didn't actually finish this when we had it happen to us when we were fighting the Phoenix. He got 4 hits. Sadly, one of them shattered his genitals. He's no longer allowed to have kids, which means he's not able to take part in any intimacies. He also gains 3 insanity, but he also is going to gain a disorder. And so we have to go through our disorder deck and find one. So we're going to take our disorder deck here, shuffle up a little bit, give it a big old truffle shuffle, and see what we get. Because this is going to be what's going to befall our poor survivor. He has received indecision. Past decisions haunt you ceaselessly. You are crippled by indecision, and even the most trivial choices grip you with terror. If you are the hunt event revealer, or hunt events that you can that call on you to make a roll twice and use the lowest result. Actually, I think we've had this one before. I think actually Mina suffers from that, or used to, but of course I think we cleared that with that fight against the Phoenix. So we're going to go ahead and put that down on his character card under disorders. So I've gone ahead and updated his card. Roll twice on hunt decisions for hunt choices for indecision. Also, we have Mina. Mina, sadly, I thought got +1 movement, but apparently I can't read dice, and she got actually not +1 movement. She actually gains a random fighting art. So we're going to take our fighting art deck, mix it up a little bit, give it a big old truffle shuffle here again, and see what we get. We're going to cut it right here, and then we're going to see the fighting art that she has received. It is Combo Master. On a perfect hit, make +1 additional attack roll. Well, actually, it's kind of funny because if she keeps going down the shield 1, I don't think that's going to happen too much. But I will give her Combo Master here as a fighting art. So I've gone ahead and updated her card. Now, there is only one more thing we have to take care of, and that is this. I totally failed miserably on this, and thank you for everybody pointing this out. The dead monster was drawn during your survivor phase. All that happens, but we got this. Gain 1 random resource from the monster resource deck. I would like to reiterate the word random there that I apparently decided to just forget and went to the deck and grabbed a pelt, because why not? A pelt would be perfect, but that's not how it works. We actually have to put this pelt back in the deck, mix it up, and we're going to have to draw a random resource here. That is how this works. I don't just get to pick a pelt. So we're going to shuffle this up and see what we get from our Screaming Antelope. We have received... Oh, a pelt! Yes! Okay, we got our pelt back. I was really, really hoping for a pelt. Now, of course, there are multiple pelts in that deck, so there was a really good chance of getting one, but I was actually pretty worried we weren't going to get it. So I'm going to put that with the rest of our items here that we're bringing back. And of course, in the next playthrough, I'm going to remember to use my white lion armor. I totally didn't use this the entire time. I gained the extra defense, but I never gained the extra damage and stuff. It probably would have helped out a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and put all our stuff right over here on the developments, on the preparing departed survivors. Is usually where I put it. So with all that taken care of, our characters are back from the Phoenix fight, and we're ready to do the settlement phase. If you're excited to see what will happen next, then I need you to meet me at the table. So we have returned. We're going to go ahead and start. We set the thing up. Our survivors have returned. We heal all our survivors. We're going to do that. We're also going to gain our endeavors. So we had 4 people come back from that fight. So we get 4 endeavors for that. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we also get an extra endeavor because of our cooking innovation that we have up here. It gives us +1 endeavor at the start of the settlement phase. That's awesome. All right, now we also get +1 endeavor because of Riverwind. Riverwind actually is a tinkerer, I believe is what it's called. He right here says tinkerer, +1 endeavor when a returning survivor. All right, and he is a returning survivor. He went out and helped us fight the Phoenix. All right, that is all set. We have all our things here. Now we're going to update the timeline next. So we are going to be moving into Lantern Year 12. And during this settlement phase, we're going to have to deal with the principle of conviction. Also, our Hooded Knight is again going to return to us and probably slaughter some more people. But the first thing we need to do is draw a settlement event. So we're going to give these a good old truffle shuffle as well. Cut it right about there, cut it right about there. We're going to mix up a little bit more, and we're going to take this one right here and see what has befallen our survivors. Elder Council. The elders of the settlement gather to reminisce over their hard-worn scars. Count the total number of Hunt XP among all survivors, add the bonuses, and consult the table. I think we've had this one before, and we actually have a ton of experience thanks to that. Phoenix making all our guys old. All right, we do not have scarification, we do not have records, and we do not have saga. So we're going to go ahead and add up all of our, Hunt XP from, all of our characters? From all survivors. All right, so I'm going to go and do some math. So if my math is correct, we have 38. So let's go ahead and consult our chart. We have this one right here. We can spend one endeavor. One of the elders recalls a story about a bizarre lion it met on a dangerous hunt. The monster was mourning, and it in its paw held a tattooed human hand. And the beast of sorrow. The beast of sorrow to your quarry list. You will find its rules in the legendary monster story event page. You may now hunt this monster. So we're able to hunt the Beast of Sorrow if we wish to. We've done this before. Actually, I can't believe we got the exact same event. All right, so we've done this event before. We actually have the ability again to fight the Beast of Sorrow, I believe. I'm not sure if you can do it more than once during the entire campaign, but again, we have this. Now, we do have to spend one endeavor, so we're going to go ahead and remove one of our endeavors to do that, but we have the ability to fight the Beast of Sorrow yet again. And I believe I've already marked that down on here somewhere. We have it's quarries right here. I did write Beast of Sorrow, and I probably spelled it wrong. All right, so that's all done. Now we're going to go ahead and take care of Principle of Conviction and the Hooded Knight. And here we have the picture for the Principle of Conviction. A bunch of people hanging out, enjoying life. Sounds like a good time in Kingdom Death. Just enjoying life with your lanterns and a little drink. Sounds perfect. Principle Conviction. The survivors must find a reason to be, treasure the darkness in all its mystery, or seek to master and grow strong. The group must choose one. The first one is master the darkness. Life is finding the perfect death. The lantern is power. By its light, all will be led to their final glorious moment. Add hands of heat to the next year on the timeline. The settlement gains the conviction principle barbaric. Find and place the card on the settlement board and note on the settlement record sheet. After adding the card, the settlement must roll a d10. Treasure the mystery. Life is like a quickly fading lantern. Every precious moment must be lived to its absolute fullest. Add Bone Witch to the next year on the timeline. The settlement gains the conviction principle romantic. Find and place the card on the settlement board and note it in the settlement record sheet. After adding the card, the settlement will roll a d10. So we need to choose if we want barbaric as a conviction principle. My survival limit goes up 1. Believe in the power of human strength to overpower any obstacle. All current and newborn survivors gain +1 permanent strength. Or we could learn romantic. Romantic is right here. And again, my survival limit goes up by +1. Believe in the potential of beauty, decency, and ingenuity in others. When you gain a random fighting art, draw 3 fighting art cards and select 1 to keep. Wow, that sounds really good. Wow, they both sound really good, actually. I don't mind the +1 strength, and that's going to be on everybody, and it's always going to happen. I think this is the way to go, the barbaric one. I think I'm going to like this. We're going to go ahead and go with our conviction to be barbaric. Is that the right choice? Leave it in the comments below to tell me what you think, but that's what I think we're going to choose. So now we still have to roll a d10 on this table, and I do have to add Hands of Heat to the next year. Let's see what we get. Oh, it rolled all the way off the book. We'll try that again. All right, let's see what we get. We got a 6. All right, let's see what the 6 says. It says nominate a survivor. They gain 4 courage and the following ability, Thunder Caller. Once a lifetime on the hunt board space after overwhelming darkness, in place of rolling a random hunt event, I can use 100 as your result. Wow, that sounds pretty cool. He's going to get Thundercaller. That's pretty awesome. Let's see what the other one is. The settlement celebrates with destructive feast. Lose all resources. Oh my god, including the storage. If 10 or more resources were lost, departing survivors gain +1. Oh, permanent speed. That'd have been pretty good. I don't even know what the honorable disorder is, but the permanent speed would probably have been pretty good. All our characters would have, wow, had an extra attack each turn. That would have been pretty good. But all of my stuff, that's terrible. Now, of course, our Hooded Knight has also come back. We've seen this before. I do not have a Twilight Sword to duel with this person, so I have to do Mysterious Agenda. So I'm going to go ahead and roll on this table and see what happens. I got an 8. So 8 says, the Hooded Knight forces a tattered parcel into the hands of the returning survivor with the most hunt XP. If tied, randomized. The Hooded Knight leaves with unfinished business. If there's no returning survivors, then the knight leaves with unfinished business. Well, there are returning survivors. We got 4 of them. And we have to give it to somebody who has the most hunt XP. Well, I think that's going to be Mina. Mina has a billion hunt XP thanks to the Phoenix. So she's going to gain the, tattered parcel. And here's the tattered parcel. The survivor gains the Twilight Sword, rare gear. Place it in the gear grid now. The survivor may select Twilight Sword as a weapon proficiency type. That's fantastic. This weapon is cursed. Oh, that's terrible. Cursed. This may not be removed from your gear grid for any reason. When you die, archive the card. Wow. All right. Well, so much for her being shield. I guess she's going to start going with, Twilight Sword as her weapon proficiency. All right. So we're going to go 4 from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So not only are we going to be fighting a level 2 butcher, we're going to have to deal with the Hooded Knight yet again. And she's probably going to kill more people. All right. We're going to go ahead and look at that Twilight Sword. All right, so here's our Twilight Sword. It's a weapon melee 2-handed, finesse and other. It has, 1 speed. 1 speed was 9 strength. Wow, that's amazing. All right, let's see what it says here. Slow, cursed, cumbersome, sentient, irreplaceable, gains devastating 2 when fighting the Watcher. Accuracy is 9 minus the Twilight Sword's proficiency level. So my accuracy is 9 minus the Twilight Sword proficiency. So my proficiency is 0. So that means I have an accuracy of 9? Is that what I'm reading right? All right. Well, sadly, it's cumbersome, which means I don't believe I can move and attack with this sword at the same time. And, of course, I can't dash with her because she is not able to use, the survival anymore. That's going to be absolutely terrible. Is it her that couldn't use survival, or is it somebody else? I think it might be somebody else, actually. Maybe we got lucky. I think it might have been Silvaria. She can't use it. She's apathetic. She's the one who can't use them. Oh, man, that might actually be okay. Because she can also dash right in here, and then maybe she can use the sword. All right, we'll have to see how that works, but there's a lot of stuff going on with this card, and we'll go over that when I go to see how we're going to select our departing survivors. But just know she is now in charge of the Twilight Sword. So now we're going to go ahead and move up. We're going to go to update our death count. We don't have any death count, and we are now going to check milestones and story events. I'm also going to place my Barbaric out here. I also have to add Hands of Heat to our timeline because we're going to have to deal with it next time. Hands of Heat. That'll be awesome. Now, of course, we also have to deal with the Kingsman as well. Oh, I put it the wrong place. I'm going to figure the hand. That's what we're going to be fighting. It's Hands of Heat down here. Wow, I can't even figure out what I'm doing. Hands of Heat. There we go. And now we also need to give somebody 4 understanding. So let's see. We could give it to Mina. She could get 4 understanding and almost be at the end. But with that sword, I think she's in World of Hurt. Maybe Palin should get it. Palin, I mean, he's got, well, he's not going to have any kids. So I don't know if that's a good idea. She can't gain any survival or anything. She's worthless. Oh, my guys just get worthless. Every time they go fight something, they come back worse than they started out. We do have Riverwind. He could gain 4. He doesn't have anything going on with him anymore. He used to have some pretty bad things going on. I'm going to be changing his weapon proficiency. His Fist and Tooth is pretty terrible. I think he's going to start being a frontline attacker. So we're going to go ahead and give him 4 more understanding. And that'll get him all the way to the top so we can see if there's anything awesome that happens to us. We're going to get the White Secret story event. And that's going to be awesome. We're going to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. So he's going to be our White Secret. So here is our image of the White Secret. And I'll tell you right now, with all the blood on her hands and stuff, I don't think I want to know the secret. Story event, White Secret. A dream buried deep in memory suddenly surfaces. You feel her hot breath bathing your ear. A hissing whisper. She had come to you bearing the secrets of the world, and you had merely forgotten until now. Your brain swells, and you scream out in pain, suffer the lunacy brain trauma, and remember the story. This isn't sounding very good. So lunacy states gain a random disorder and D5 insanity. Sweet. So Riverwind is going to gain D5 insanity. He gains 7 divided by 2 is 3.5, so he's going to gain 4 insanity. So that will bring his insanity up to 14, so he's super insane. That's awesome. And now I get a random disorder, of course. Let's see what we get. I'm going to shuffle these up. We'll shuffle here. And we have received a disorder. Rageaholic. Your rage boils out of control, causing you to see red at the slightest provocation. Whenever you suffer a severe brain injury, you also suffer, a severe injury, sorry. Whenever you suffer a severe injury, you also suffer frenzy brain trauma. Oh, awesome. All right. So we're going to go ahead and write that down. The last thing we need to do is remember the story. So I'm going to go ahead and roll here and see what we get. We got a 7. So 7 right here is going to direct us right down into there. And it says, if the settlement has the barbaric conviction principle, the survivor remembers the story of the invisible hair. And we just got the barbaric conviction, so that's perfect. You remember the story of a woman with long hair so fine it couldn't even be seen. She claimed she could feel anything her hair touched. On her deathbed, she cut it off and gifted it a single strand to any who visited her. What was left over was scattered, floating in the wind, waiting to be grasped by those who learned the story. You gain the extra sense fighting art and the following ability, Leelane Walker. While there is no armor on or accessory gear in your gear grid, gain +3 evasion. Wow, that sounds pretty scary. Now, we've seen this extra sense before. It allows you to do an extra dodge. So I've gone ahead and wrote that all down on Riverwind's card. Now we've come to the point where we can develop some things. So we're going to go ahead and slide our endeavors over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 endeavors, and we get to go ahead and create some things. Now we have all the stuff we brought back, plus we have 5 broken lanterns, an eye of cat, a great cat bone, and we have this elder cat tooth. So we've got a bone, an organ, and another bone down here. Plus we have some fresh acanthus, and we also have 1 iron. So let's go ahead and see what we can do. We're going to gather up all our resources here and lay them out and see what we can do. We've got a broken lantern, a monster organ. Now remember, we always want to try to innovate. So we got a monster organ, a monster hide, and then we have a couple. We only really have 1 bone, don't we? What's this? Another hide, organ, hide. We have that pelt. That's awesome. Another scrap. Okay, so we don't actually have. This is the only bone unless we want to use the cat bone, the great cat bone. I think we'll go ahead and use this. Now let's see here. There also is. I have 1 organ in storage. I have the eye of cat. And then I have 2 more organs. So I have 3 organs total. Now that's kind of sad because I was really hoping to build something awesome. I have this, what is the catarium? I've got this right down here. I was trying to build the cat fang knife, 1 elder cat tooth and 4 organs. Now if we don't innovate this turn, we could go ahead and build that. But I really always think innovating is super important. So we are going to do it. We're going to get rid of these 3 things, and we're going to go ahead and innovate. So we're going to go ahead and take our innovation deck. We're going to mix it up. This is also going to cost us 1 of our endeavors. We're going to mix up our innovation deck, and we're going to see. We get to draw 4 of these because of one of our innovations already. So we're going to just draw this one. We're going to put them right here. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to take that one 4. All right, those are the 4 cards. Let's see what we got. We're going to have to decide what we're going to keep. We've got scrap smelting. I think this is something I've been meaning to try to get, and I know I kept putting it off. Purification. I can use one of my endeavors to roll a d10. Nothing happens, or I can spend 3 scrap to make iron. I can also spend 3 scrap to add 1 iron to storage. You may repeat this process any number of times. Look at this. I can also build the blacksmith. I think this is something we really might want to think about taking. I get sculpture. It says you create an inspirational statue. Skip the next hunt and lose a fighting art. Whoa. Record the fighting art on the settlement record sheet. A settlement can only have 1 inspirational statue. You cannot make another secret fighting art. Are not fighting arts. Okay. And I can spend an endeavor. You study the inspirational statue on a roll of 6+. You can record the fighting art. Oh, so I can gain a fighting art. Plus I'm going to put some stuff in there. Okay. That's not too bad. We got partnership. Nominate 2 survivors. They pair off, and each gains a partner ability. A survivor may be nominated for partnership once a lifetime. Partner. It gets a name. When you both arrive, gain survival up to the survival limit. Partners may only nominate each other for intimacy. When a partner dies, the remaining partner gains a random disorder and loses the ability. That's not too bad. All right. But we got a lot of stuff that gives us survival. And here's scarification is something I could have used on that card over there. Let's see what this thing does. I can spend an endeavor and I can initiation. Once per lifetime, gain +1 courage and roll on the hit location die. Oh, I can suffer blinded. Gain the tough fighting art. Oh, destroy generals. That's awesome. And gambler's scar. Gain +1 permanent luck. Roll a d10 on the result of 6+. You lose some toes. -1 permanent movement. All right. So that's awesome. I really think scrap smelting is something we need to start thinking about because I can start making the blacksmith. Not to mention our newest settlement location, that Polmery. Where is it? It's in here somewhere. I know I picked it out. The Polmery right here. Check it out. A lot of this stuff takes iron now. A small hollow wing, bone, small feather. Okay, well the armor doesn't, but I know the stuff down here does. I need to get, what is it, like, here we go, scrap, organs. Maybe I don't need iron. I thought I needed iron for some of this stuff. It looks like it just needs scrap, so maybe I don't need to take this right now. Because I don't really need, oh yeah, here it is, iron. I need all the iron in order to get some of these really cool armor pieces, which is something I really kind of want to start getting, because I really like that Phoenix fight. I think we're going to do it again and bring back some even more cooler things. So I think smelting is going to be the way to go. We're going to grab scrap smelting this time. Tell me what you think. You think that was a good idea? I don't know. We'll find out. But I'm going to go add that to our innovations, and then I'm going to put these back into our innovation deck, and we'll be able to draw from some of these in the next settlement phase. So we're going to put them all right there. And then we're going to go through all this stuff and see what we're going to get. So if we go through all of our things, I think the number one thing we're going to be doing, of course, is we are going to be spending that, pelt. I really want to get rid of this pelt. We've got that stone circle, and I want to get the final piece of that. So we're going to see what else we need to get in order to get that thing. Our stone circle, we need to get the feet. So we need a hide and a pelt, no problem. I got a hide right here. So we're going to cache both of these in to go ahead and grab the screaming leg warmers, which it says here, on arrival, your feet hurt, gain +3 insanity. Now, of course, it's going to give us 2 armor to your feet location. And that is going to round out our screaming armor set, which gets to add +2 to all hit locations. That's amazing. And it says right down here, skewer, after you slam, spend 1 activation to move 1 space and activate a melee weapon with +2 strength. If you wound with a spear, apply that wound roll result to the next selected hit location this attack. So I think we're going to start using that spear. We have the king spear or something. I'm going to start using that. So we do have another full set of armor thanks to grabbing our screaming leg warmers. Now I don't really know what else to do. We've got what? A hide, the eye, a hide, droppings, feathers, lots of feathers, but again, I don't have any iron, so I think it's time to start using that smelting, and we're going to create some iron. We are going to use purification. I'm going to roll a d10. Our goal is to get some iron. I have 6 scrap right now, so we're going to roll it and see what happens. Roll this die. Come on, something good. We got a 5. So I believe 5 says we spend an endeavor, and we get to spend 3 scrap to add 1 iron to the strange resource. So I'm going to spend 1 endeavor and 3 scrap. So we're going to spend this and 2 more, bringing our scrap count down to 3. So if we wanted to do it, we could do it again, but I now have 2 iron, and we'll see if we can get anything with this awesome iron that we can buy from the Polmery. Maybe it'll be really cool. Let's see what we can do here. The Polmery. There's a lot of neat things here. We could buy I don't have leather, small feather, and a bone. I don't have any of that. Well, that's going to be really sad. Iron, leather, tail feather, and a hide. Okay, I think I can do that one. Iron, leather, tail feather, and an organ. I could probably do that one. Iron, leather, small feather, and an organ. I can do, I think, 3 of these. Let's see if there's any weapons down here. Small feathers, scrap, don't have the hollow bone. Hollow wing bone, nope. Phoenix whisker, nope. Don't have any of that. Don't have any hollow. I need some hollow wing bones. That's what I need. Shimmering halo, nope. Don't have any of that. Let's see here. We could do 2 small tail feathers and a scrap, or we could make this 2 small tail feathers and musculent droppings. Let's see what those 2 things are. The feathered mantle and the feather shield. And then, or else maybe we'll make one of these, because I think it's time that we upgrade our, rawhide set. I think it's time to start getting better armor for that. So let's take a look at some of those. So our feather shield here is a little bit better than our leather shield, but it doesn't give me any strength, but I get to attack 3 times with it. So maybe this wouldn't be a bad thing to do. I also still get that block 1, which is kind of nice. Now, of course, here's our feathered mantle. This I'm not digging too much. When you suffer knockback, you may ignore collision with other survivors and reduce the movement by up to 3 spaces. I've been doing a pretty good job of making sure those guys don't collide with each other. And stopping by 3 spaces, I don't think is going to be that big of a deal. So I think we might look into this feather shield, or maybe we might do the upgrade for our Phoenix armor here and see if that's any good. So our Pulmonary gear set is actually pretty cool. It gives about 4 to each different slot here. And it does say, if insane, ignore the first hit each round and suffer 1 brain damage instead. Of course, I have to link every one of these to have that happen. And I don't think I'm going to be able to do that unless I have a full set. So maybe it's best to just kind of hold on to some of this stuff. I actually think I want to make that shield. I think I'm going to make the shield. We're going to get rid of these 3 things to make the shield. I believe that's what I need to do. Let's see here. 2 small feathers and a muscling droppings. I need 2 small feathers and muscling droppings. We have that. So we have gone ahead and created this feather shield. I'm going to go ahead and take that. I think that's going to be pretty cool. We're going to build a feather shield. That's going to be our thing. Now, the other thing I think we're going to do is spend these to go ahead and augury. I think we're going to try to get some more characters. So I think what we're going to do is go ahead and move into our augury thing here. I think that's going to be our best thing. Let's see here. We can make some leather if we want. We haven't done anything like that. We can spend any number of hide to add an equal number of leathers to our storage. Now, I don't think I need to do that right now, but we have that ability. I can build things. Where's the other thing? We can harvest resources. Harvest ritual. Spend any number of monster resources to draw an equal number of basic resources. Oh, that's okay. I don't think we need that. And shared experience. This is the other thing I could do. Nominate a survivor that has 2 or more hunt XP than yourself. They describe illuminating details of their desired death. If they are not deaf, gain +1 hunt XP from their story. So I can give some people some hunt XP if I want. But I think it's, I don't know. It's kind of tough. I think we're actually just going to go ahead and do the augury thing. I think that's going to be our best bet here. Now, where is that? That's here it is, the organ grinder. So we're going to go ahead and roll with the organ grinder. And who's going to do this? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at who we think would be best at this job. I might get a survival out of this. So let's see here. Palin can't gain survival, so he ain't going to do it. Let's see here. Mina. Mina's going to be the person that's going to augury. That's going to be our plan. Now, she doesn't have, you have to add +1 to your roll if you have an understanding of 3 or higher. She does. She actually has a 4. So she does get to add +1 to this roll. Let's see what she gets. She got a 9. We're going to go ahead and discard one of our things, which means we do get an intimacy event. And I know I should roll that right away, but I'd like to just do all of these first. So we're going to go ahead and do our next one. We got a 10. Wow, another intimacy. Maybe I should stop right there and use this for something else. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and do 2 intimacy rolls first, and we're going to save that and maybe give some people some hunt XP. So we've seen this intimacy story event quite a bit, so I'm not going to read it, but I am going to roll 2 dice and see what happens because, of course, we do have that, was it family or protect the young or whatever, one of our society things. We're going to go ahead, roll this, see what happens. Now, I do have that family card, that innovation, but the problem is it says a newborn survivor inherits the surname of one of the parents, their weapon type, and half rounded down of their weapon proficiency. I don't really have too many people with weapon proficiency. Burm Everman's the only one, and he has 2 for his guitar. So I don't think it's really worth using that yet. But we're going to go ahead and see what we get. We're going to go ahead and roll. We got a 2 or a 9. We're definitely taking the 9. So we are going to gain twins. That's awesome. We're going to roll it again. And we got a 2 or a 4. Oh, I forgot. I'm supposed to nominate people. Well, the good news is nothing bad happened to the people. I totally forgot about that. I apologize. The survivors born in kicking and screaming, so we get +1 population. So we have 3 new survivors. That's awesome. So I've gone ahead and added our 3 new survivors. We have Linsha, Ashroot, and Fizban, and they all start with +1 accuracy, strength, evasion, and an understanding. So that's really cool. So we're going to go ahead and put that aside. So I have 1 endeavor left, and we're going to go ahead and spend that on our shared experiences. That's going to be what we're going to do. So we're going to gain, +1 hunt XP for their story. I'm going to nominate Fizban. He's going to be a new survivor that's going to join us. So he's going to gain 1 hunt XP. And he also, of course, has the evasion, the accuracy, and the strength, and the understanding, plus he gets in survival because I named him. Oh, I forgot to say what he was. There we go. All right. And so he also is going to gain 1 hunt XP, 1 more, and he's able to start gaining some weapon proficiencies. So that's going to be the end of our settlement phase. We're going to go ahead and prepare our departing survivors and decide what we're going to hunt. Now, before we go into our departing survivors, I did go ahead and archive all our stuff, so I've wrote it all out here. Now, we have 2 iron and 3 scraps, so there's a chance I might be able to start making some of that cool stuff. Plus, of course, I want to use this elder cat tooth. So we do have a few organs out here that we'll hopefully be able to gain a couple more, and we can maybe make that. Also, I've updated our survival limit to 8. We gained another survival limit based on our barbaric principle. I've also updated all our characters and gave them all +1 strength, and Riverwind, of course, does get his Thundercaller ability that we also gained from that barbaric principle. Now let's talk about our departing survivors. Sadly, Mina has kind of fallen a little bit from grace here. She's actually stuck with this Twilight Sword, and I still want to take her out because I want to give it a shot, but I don't have a lot of confidence in this thing. So what this sword is going to do is it kind of powers up as I use it. I get 1 speed, and of course, my accuracy is 9 minus the Twilight Sword's proficiency level. So it's 0 right now. So right now, my accuracy is 9. I don't think I'm ever going to hit anything. And this thing is slow, cursed, cumbersome, sentient, and irreplaceable. So if I die, I don't get this back. It's sentient, which means I have to be insane in order to use it. And she does have 3 insanity, so we're okay there. It's cumbersome, which means that I have to use both my movement and my action in order to actually use this weapon. Cursed means I have to keep it in my gear grid, and slow also means that I am not allowed to gain any extra speed bonus when attacking with this Twilight Sword. So I can't, it's always going to be 1. So that's awesome. So she's going to actually take over the Rawhide Heart set here. So sorry, that's you. You've gotten demoted from the leather armor set into the Rawhide armor set. But that's okay, because I'm planning to dash a lot with her, because if I can dash in there, then I can actually use the sword. So we'll see how this goes. I've also given her the Cat Eye Circlet, because maybe she can surge and use the Cat Eye Circlet. And with the Rawhide set, I can, of course, always roll to maybe get some of that survival back. I don't know. Tell me what you think about this. So the person who is taking over the leather armor set is going to be Fizzban. He's a new survivor. He's got a lot of starting numbers here that are out of control. He starts with accuracy +1, +2 strength, and +1 evasion. That's what all our survivors now start with when they come into existence, which is pretty good. Now, he's only supposed to have 5 survival and no insanity, but the gear he has gives him +2 survival and +2 insanity as well. Also, I believe Dennis in my comments section mentioned this, and I'm going to give it a shot. He had said, why don't I put my blood paint with my guy with the shield? I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. So I can actually activate my bone blade, and then the blood paint allows me to activate the gear next to it as well. So I can actually activate the shield. Activate weapon gear to the left and right of this card. And the shield is a weapon. It is a weapon, so I can activate both of these. So I can attack with this and then trigger my block with it, or actually just attack with it as well if I want to. Not to mention my feather shield here is going to help me when taking brain damage. So that'll help a little bit too, because I've linked the blue, the red, and the green. Now, of course, I didn't link his leather boots, so he's not able to get the extra movement, but that's going to be okay. The other thing I want to do is make sure with my leather armor set I don't forget this. I totally missed this the last combat. I ignore bash. So whenever I was getting hit by that razor wind, I should have been able to just get knocked back but not suffer bash. All right, that's our leather armor person. Let's go on. We're going to have a new character that always seems to be a new character every time that we bring out with the White Lion gear set. It always seems to happen. So Ashroot is a new character as well. She also starts with all these insane stats. But now she doesn't start with any extra bonuses in her insanity or survival because none of that triggers on this. But that's okay. She does get 5 just for being her and leaving the settlement. Now, I've linked a lot of this together, so she does get +1 movement, and she also gets +2 strength when we attack. She gets the +1 from the necklace, and because I have 2 red, she's also going to gain a +1 strength. And again, I'm going to try not to forget this, where I'm able to gain +1 speed and +2 strength when using daggers or guitars. And she's using a dagger. So when I attack, her strength is actually going to be +1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll be attacking with +5. That's one of the reasons I also get rid of the blood paint is I did a lot of attacks with the daggers, but I always seem to trigger the traps sometimes. So we're hopefully not going to trigger too many more traps with this character. Just keep hitting with that bone dagger when we can. And last but not least, we got Palin. He's coming in again using this full Screaming armor set for the first time. And he's got some kind of detriments and some advantages here. He's got his combo mastery, but he does have indecision. And, of course, he has his destroyed generals, which means he's going to be fighting forever because he can't get any kids anyway. Now, he also gets this entire Screaming armor set, which I know works really well with a spear. If you wound with a spear, I can apply the roll result to the next selected hit location, but I just can't get away from these guitars. They're so good. So he's going to be able to use the slam to move 1 space and activate a melee weapon with 2 strength. So if I can actually activate the slam and get all this going, these are going to be coming in with a paired attack of 4, and they're going to be doing 6 strength or whatever attacking. So I think this is going to be pretty good. We will see how that all works out for Palin. So we're going to go ahead and set up to fight another level 1 Phoenix. Now, we might be a little bit too powerful to take this on, but I don't exactly know everything about this monster yet, like I do about the White Lion. So before we fight a level 2, I think we're still going to go with one more level 1 monster. And besides, we're going to be fighting with this Twilight Sword, which this person's pretty much going to be useless anyway. So we'll see how this all goes. Now, I have set up our characters over here, and sadly, it's about time to make some more miniatures. This is actually going to be Fizzman now because, well, he's got the shield and the sword, but even though it's a female character. And up here, of course, we're going to have Mina. Mina actually doesn't have the Twilight Sword, so I'll have to try to get that to her if I can. But for right now, the other two characters are still the same characters with the right gear. So I just wanted you to be aware of the characters out there. So they're not exactly who they are, but they did the best I could. We're going to go ahead and start with Mina because our first special hunt event that I put down was our mining event, and she's got the bone pick. So we're going to go ahead and deal with our mineral gathering. So since she's the only one with a pickaxe, she's going to be able to go ahead and roll. So I'll roll my d10 and see what we get. We got a 5. The 5 says gain 1 broken lantern basic resource. A sudden rock slide catches you off guard. Suffer 2 event damage to a random hit location. Oh, that's terrible because she doesn't have much to begin with. So we're going to go ahead and roll and see what happens to her. In the body, she's going to suffer 2 event damage. So Mina has gained a broken lantern, but she has suffered 2 damage to her body. So she already is going to go into the fight with absolutely nothing protecting her body. And that's only half the fun. We're going to continue. Now, the hunt event, of course, is just roll the dice. We've got our white die is going to be our 10s die, and our black die is going to be our 1s die. And we got a 40. So we're going to go ahead and look and see what 40 is. We have found a dream. The event revealer dreams of the upcoming hunt. They stand before the great beast, weapons ready, but it strikes them down. If the event revealer has 3+ courage, or if any survivor is a savior, the event revealer is emboldened by the dream and gains +1 evasion token. Otherwise, the dream is merely rattling. Suffer 1 brain event damage. If any survivor has the Twilight Sword, which we do, the dream is indiscriminate slaughter. Add the murder settlement event to the timeline, D5 years from now? Well, murder can't be very good. All right, we're going to go ahead and roll to see when murder is going to take place. Murder is going to take place, let's see here, 2. So it's going to take place 2 lantern years from now. Wow, that's going to be, actually I have to divide that. It's going to be 1. Next event, it's going to be, oh man, that's ridiculous. All right, so she's taken 1 brain damage, bringing her down to 2. She can't even use the sword right now because she's not insane. And I've gone ahead and added murder to our timeline, along with our nemesis encounter, the hand level 1, and our hands of heat. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff we're going to be taking care of in the next settlement. All right, so that could have probably been the worst event I've ever seen in my entire life. Well, set of events, I should say. She is in big trouble right now, and I'll tell you right now, this Twilight Sword is for the birds. I don't think I'm ever going to bring her back out here again. She's causing murder, and I don't think we're ever going to hit with that thing. All right, we're going to move to the first Phoenix encounter, and I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to have Fizzman, our new character, go ahead and take a look. He is going to find Glimpse. A massive shadow passes over the survivors. They turn their gaze up in time to catch a glimpse of the indecipherable shape of the Phoenix disappearing into the darkness. The event revealer rolls a D10. All right, let's see what happens. I'm going to roll my D10. I got an 8. It says 6+. Time slips. All survivors suffer 2 brain event damage and gain 1 level of Hunt XP. All right, I'll go ahead and do that. That sounds like a plan. So I've gone ahead and done 2 brain damage to everybody and given everybody 1 Hunt XP. Now, Ashroot had no brain insanity, so she's just going to lose her box because it is event damage, so it doesn't actually cause the actual trauma table. Fizzban, on the other hand, he loses his, but look, he's got his 2nd box. So I've gone ahead and given him shield, and we have to roll 2d10 for our age event. We've seen so many, I'm never going to bring the book out. We're just going to go ahead and roll them. I got a 15, and that means we're going to go ahead and grab a random fighting art. So I'm going to shuffle these up and see which one we get. We're going to gain this one right here. We have got Berserker. Once per showdown, you may spend an activation to suffer bash and the frenzy brain trauma. Okay, that's something else. All right, I'll write that down. Berserker. I don't think he's ever going to do this. Because he's got all the... He's supposed to be kind of like my tank guy. I don't think I'm going to be sending him into berserk mode ever. But we'll see. All right, so he's got the Berserker fighting art. and that's it for Fizban. And I believe the other characters are all just going to suffer that damage, and that's about it. Mina, of course, has suffered more brain damage. Now she totally can't use that sword because she's not even close to insane. And she did gain a little bit more XP. I have a feeling she's about to phase out of existence when we fight the Phoenix. I probably shouldn't have brought her, and I bet you're all screaming at the camera telling me that. Oh, well. All right, let's continue with this. So we've seen this many times, so I'm not going to go ahead and read everything here, but we are not past the overwhelming darkness. We don't get plus 10 to the roll, but we do get to roll our dice. Remember, if any of these are the same numbers, we don't get anything. Otherwise, we add up the dice rolls and see what we get at the end. So I'm going to roll these up. We got 2 7s. Man, I can't believe it. 3 dice. Okay, let's try again. Our next survivor gets a 3, 5, and a 7, so that's 15. We're at 15. Let's roll for the third survivor. Our third survivor gets... We're at 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 26. We're at 26 right now, and I get to roll one more. Well, we can't really get too much. I'm going to roll 4 dice for our last survivor. What the heck? They can't get any worse than 26 here. We actually survived. So 26, 27, 28, 29, 37, 37, 38, 39, 40, 1, 2, 3, 43. Oh, look at that. We missed it by 2 points. We could have got some extra stuff here. But instead, we do get 1 fresh acanthus and 1 survival. And who knows, my adding could be absolutely off. I probably was, but that's okay. We get a fresh acanthus and we get 1 survival. So I've gone ahead and given everybody their survival. We're all at max survival except for Ashroot. She only has 7. We're going to discard this. I'm going to go ahead and give this to Palin since he has the bone sickle and he's the one that performed it. Now, of course, Palin does have to roll on the random hunt event, and we're going to see what happens. We got our white die, it's going to be our 10s die, and our black die is going to be our 1s die. We got a 2. All right, let's go see what happens to us. We have found a corpse. The survivors are overcome by a sudden chill, their breath seizing in their lungs. The survivors' teeth chatter mercilessly. All survivors lose monster-level survival. Sweet. At the center of the sudden frost is a perfectly preserved corpse. If the settlement has cannibalized, the event revealer gains 1 basic resource. If the settlement has graves, the event revealer examines the corpse and gains 1 courage and 1 understanding. If the settlement has memento mori, which we don't, the event revealer understands a little about what happened to the corpse. They gain 1 random fighting art. So all we get is a courage and an understanding. So now everybody did lose 1 survival, so we're back down to 7 for everybody except for Ashroot. She's got 6. We're going to move everybody up, and it is Ashroot's turn. She's going to go in and see what our final one is. Or it could be more if this thing moves. We got Fateful Feather. The survivors pass a ruined settlement. At the center, an altar holds a lustrous feather. Its glow illuminates the ghostly image of frozen worshippers. Each survivor rolls a d10. The lowest scoring survivor, roll off in case of a tie, becomes a straggler. The straggler cannot resist grasping the feather. The straggler instantly forgets the sum of their life. Set the survivor's weapon proficiency and hunt XP to 0. The survivor may gain the benefits of age again. Remove all disorders and fighting arts. Gain 1 tail feather phoenix resource. If any survivor has the Horus ring, they may spend 2 survival to save the straggler and ignore this event. All right. Wow, we're going to go ahead and roll for each survivor, and then we're going to find out who the straggler is. And I'm not adding anything, am I? Just each survivor rolls. All right. So we're going to go ahead and see what happens. We're going to start up here. This is going to be Mina. Mina got a 7. We're going to go here and see what Palin gets. Palin got a 10. Wow. All right, we're going to roll for our next character here. It's going to be Ashroot. Let's see what she got. A 3. All right, well, that's going to be absolutely hilarious if she's the one. And then, we got 2. That's going to be, oh my goodness, that's our first person. That's Fizban. Oh, no, not Fizban. Fizban actually got some weapon proficiencies and everything. That's too bad. All right, so let's see what happens to him. He is going to gain the, he loses his set the weapon proficiency to 0. The hunt XP is 0. Now, it doesn't say I lose my weapon proficiency, so I believe I keep it. I do remove all disorders and fighting arts, and I gain 1 tail feather. All right, that's not too bad, actually. It would have been better on other people, but we're going to go ahead and deal with Fizban. So the only thing Fizban had was his Berserker fighting art, which I probably was never going to use anyway, which isn't the end of the world. And, of course, he's going to lose his 2 hunt XP. Now, it doesn't say he loses his weapon proficiency. It says I have to go down to 0. So I believe he still gets to keep his shield weapon proficiency. So that's all we're going to do for Fizban. Let's continue. So with that event complete, we are now ready to face our level 1 Phoenix yet again. So we did okay. I'm really concerned about Mina. She's actually, I think, going to be a pretty terrible character here. But we're going to see how this goes. We're going to go ahead and move into the showdown with the Phoenix in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and the playthrough. I'm having a blast. We're going against, yet again, another Phoenix. I'm super excited to track this guy down yet again. Well, at least try. Well, hopefully it goes as good as it did the last time. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell symbol so you know when the next video comes out, and it's going to be the showdown with the Phoenix. Also, please feel free to leave anything in the comments below. I would love to hear from everyone. If you're excited to see if our survivors can take on the Phoenix, or are you excited to see if the Phoenix can destroy our survivors, either way, then I need you to meet me at the table.